Thank you for doing this interview with me. I am practicing my interview skills for class. Today, I'd like to talk with you about your profession. You don't have to answer anything that makes you feel uneasy. In the video, we only be shared with my lab partners and my professor. Is that okay for you? Do you have any questions before we begin?
First of all, thank you for having me, and at this moment, I don't have any questions. I'm just happy that I get to talk about my profession and maybe some of those challenges and success that I face.
Great. To start, can you tell me a little about what you made you decide to become a teacher?
Thank you for that question. I think looking back in my life, I've always liked teaching, helping others with their homework, with something they didn't understand. My younger siblings, just for example, if they didn't understand a problem in math, I like helping describing the step, this process, and being able to help them understand something, and that made me feel very like a reward, seeing how they struggle with something, but after I explained it to them, they understood and that they felt like happier and they could move on to something more difficult.
Oh, I see. So, teaching has been part of your life since you were young. It sounds like you have always enjoyed helping others learn.
Yes, definitely. And I remember when I was a teen, I was always looking out for internships or even non-paying positions that would help me teach others. For example, after school tutoring. I remember I signed up for that, and I was able to help younger children write in their writing, in their math worksheet, or even Spanish, just to help them with anything they were struggling. And I remember liking those jobs, and I think that slowly transitioned to me getting into education and getting my credentials.
Oh, that is beautiful. What kind of teacher are you now? And what age group do you work with?
So right now, I used to teach kindergarten, first grade, and but now I've transitioned to fourth graders. So they're definitely a fun and creative group. Now they're thinking more independently, asking more questions about how the world works, and although they like to work in groups, but they want to do it themselves. They like when I assign them a specific job in the class. For example, I have paper passers or substitutes or people who turn in the attendance sheet to the office, so those like messenger, the cleanup crew, and they really like when you assign them something, they have a role to play inside the classroom now that they're a little bit older. So definitely I have a very incredible fourth grade cohort.
Oh, I see. It sounds like you enjoy the stage when kids begin to develop their own ideas and confidence.
Yes, and you can start to see that in kinder, of course, first grade, but now in thinking that age, you're holding their hand, walking them through the steps, teaching them. They still cry when their parents are not there. But now as a fourth grader, they like being in the school, talking to their friends, playing sports, having their own like backpack materials and expressing themselves, and then be more organized and more independent, self-sufficient. I start well. So I think that's very common as they start to get older.
Um, okay, this question is like, what has been one of the most rewarding moments for you as a teacher?
That's a beautiful question. I think looking back, seeing how, for example, a student would have a lot of difficulty understanding a math concept, or maybe like reading something, and working with that student constantly, even involving their parents, tutors, like other counseling members, or other teachers, just to draft a plan so that student could really take advantage of all the tools and knowledge he's learning in school and apply them later on. And so I think just seeing that student struggle in the beginning and now, get some concept, feel very happy that that student that he understood that concept, and then moving on to something even more difficult.
Oh, that must be feel really meaningful to see your effort and patience result in a student's success.
Yes, and it takes a lot of time and patience, and feedback from all my other peers and support from them too. And I'm also doing research and looking for other resources and other ways of teaching a certain type of material, because not all students learn the same.
Oh, I can imagine. on on the other hand, what challenges do you face in your job?
Thank you for that question, and it's very important to realize and see that although education brings all of these wonderful moments when you're teaching a student, and you can see that student grow up, but there's also definitely a lot of challenges working with working with children, because some of them are experiencing a lot of difficulties at home that they may bring that to the classroom. And sometimes I can see myself not only teaching them but also serving as a social worker or mental health counselor, and helping that student feel more safe and be happy to learn in that space. And it's really hard not to carry that like trauma or that emotional exhaustion from the classroom to my home.
Oh, that sounds emotionally difficult. Trying to support students who may be struggling outside the classroom too.
Yes, and it's common. A lot of these students, are maybe like moving to a different home. Their parents are getting married, or they having siblings, or death. So it's a lot of stages that they're going through, and I always want to make my classroom a safe and welcoming space. So we have specific routines we do in the morning, like introductions where they can say their name, something wonderful that happened in their weekend, and we can all share together. We have a sharing circle, and then I repeat the same rules, guidelines in the beginning of every circle session, to be nice to each other, to be quiet when others talk. You don't have to participate, so I don't like demand them for them to speak every single time we do these types of activities, but I do provide a certain time in the day for them to feel comfortable sharing what's going on in their lives.
Mm, mm. What helps you keep going when things get stressful?
Thank you for that. And I think just seeing the student happy to be there, understanding something, and also sharing that with, or helping other students, seeing how the day went really well, and also reaching out to my peers, to my colleagues, the principal, other supervisors, even mentors that have way more teaching experience than me, and then just pick their brains and maybe just borrow some of those I don't know, skills they use that it worked with them in their own like teaching career, as that they implemented and worked really well in their classroom. So I can borrow that knowledge and also put it into effect in my own job.
So I believe that the connections you have built with your students and college keep you going, and they give you support and remind you why you love what you do.
Yes, exactly. So we do have breaks, and or even also trainings and conferences, or maybe some events where I can speak with my peers and colleagues, and some of them are facing the exact same thing, some of them are facing it differently, but we know that we are all for each other, supporting each other, and we feel safe to talk to each other, because we know that's very difficult to be a teacher, and with many students to teach, and many things happen in their homes and also outside the school. So I'm really happy to have a wonderful group of peers.
Oh, I see, I see. So I have this question for you. What are your future hopes or goals for your profession?
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely enjoy teaching right now, but maybe in the future I want to be able to teach other teachers, because there's so many things I learn, and I want to transmit to other upcoming teachers, so they struggle less, they work more efficiently, So I do see myself, for example, leading certain programs, certain training sessions, or becoming also getting more mental health knowledge, so I can not only help students, but also like the parents or in my community.
That is wonderful goal. It sounds like you want to make a difference outside your classroom.
Yeah, of course. So I think the skills I learned as a teacher in the classroom, like advocacy skills, writing, public speaking skill, I can translate that not only in the classroom but outside in my community. In the service I do in the public library, and after school program, in the city council, getting parents more involved with the school activities and some of those school administrative decisions that will affect their students.
Um, Earlier, you mentioned it that teaching can sometimes feel like being a counselor or social worker. So, how do you take care of your own mental health? While supporting your students.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really important question and something teachers have to really think about, because if we continue without thinking about the challenges and how we're going to be dealing with that, it can really bottle up, and then we can, that pressure can affect our, teaching. So I think I definitely like to set some boundaries, like not reading certain emails at a specific time, and doing what I like or what brings me joy, like taking the dogs out for a walk, baking, listening to music. So just and talking to my peers, to my family, and to be able to re-energize and then continue moving on with the school year.
So, what is your favorite music?
Well, I do like to listen to a lot of music at the school. I know a lot of teachers put some yoga music to relax them, and I like to do brain breaks. So I know music is very important in the classroom to bring some type of space where they can breathe, relax, and then, and maybe listen to music while they do their homework. So that would be like a privilege, something they work towards in the day.
Oh, I see. Oh, that is great balance. Yeah, it sounds like self-care really helps you stay grounded. And have there been any professional training or workshops that have influenced your teaching style or helped you grow?
Yeah, of course. I think I've taken several one. For example, I took a cultural competency training where I learned how culture and language can become barriers, but also like facilitators to help a student succeed. And also took a mental health training where I could I learned some strategies, mechanism that I can teach my students so they can regulate their emotions. So I like to play some of those videos, training videos on how to advocate for themselves, how to set some of those boundaries, how to ask for help, and take breaks if they need, and like more to do more art. So we do art and music because that's also important in their emotional development. So I try to when I go to that training, I try to borrow some of that learning knowledge and implement it in my classroom.
Oh, that is powerful. Yes. If you have one piece of advice to someone thinking about becoming a teacher, or what do you tell them?
I think I remember when I started in my in college, I wanted to do teaching, but there were some challenges like the application process, the money, that and all those other family emergencies that made me hesitate if I want to really continue this. However, it's really reaching out to your mentors and not forgetting why you're there, and is to work with the children, to help the children succeed, because it's really rewarding when they graduate and they come back, and they say hi to you, and you can see all those achievements they made. So not take your eyes off that goal.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing all of that. Before we finish, I'd like to ask for your feedback and how did you feel during the interview?
Yeah, I think you asked wonderful questions. You really
Thank you.
were paying attention to me and what I was saying, and it made me, remember back how everything began. And you provide a very safe space for me to share all those memories. And I really thank you for inviting me to this interview.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. On a scale of 0 to 10, how well do you think I understood what do you say?
From a scale of 0 to 10, I
0
think
to 10.
like 8 to 9. I think you
Mhm.
again, you asked wonderful questions. Challenges, some of those happy memories that I have. And like the advice I could give future generations, and how I started from like the beginning to now at the end. So yeah, I think you ask a lot of great questions, and you've not heard me to move faster. You gave me time to respond, and yeah, I think everything went well.
Oh, thank you for your feedback. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time and honesty. I really appreciate your help with this practice interview.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you.